ESPN College Football presented by Geico. Tonight in Provo, undefeated and 11th ranked BYU hosting the Hilltoppers of Western Kentucky. I'm Beth Mullins along with Kirk Morrison, Stormy Bonatoni with you tonight as we feature the undefeated Cougars and their Heisman hopeful at quarterback Zach Wilson. Nearly 2,000 yards passing already with the 16 touchdowns and just the one pick on the year, Kirk.
I just feel like no one's talking about Zach Wilson enough, Beth. Why not? I know everyone's talking Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields, but you watch this BYU quarterback and Zach Wilson, the growth from his freshman year to his junior year. There's a reason why I think he's climbing up the NFL charts of possibly being a draft pick come next season.
Hitting on nearly 80% of his throws this year. There's a chill in the air on this Halloween night in Provo. It's dipped under 50 degrees with clear skies. It does not look like the wind or the precipitation will be a factor this evening. Western Kentucky won the toss and they deferred, so that BYU offense will get first shot at it tonight. This is a competitive Hilltopper side. Don't let that 2-4 record fool you. Two of their losses already this year have been to teams that are still unbeaten as we get set to head into November. And in the all-whites tonight, BYU will start out with it 1st and 10 with Zach Wilson at the helm, his 23rd start tonight. But this is a guy that the coaches say has had a tremendous offseason, has put in the work, Kirk, and he is as hungry as ever to keep that unblemished record. He's top 5 in the country in almost every category.
Yeah, but if there's one word for me to describe Zach Wilson, it is confidence. He is a confident young man, and you can see it each and every snap.
And they will work out of the pistol, and first play of the game, a throw and a completion to Dax Milne, the leading receiver for BYU. He's got his buddy back this week. Gunnar Romney returns to the lineup, as does their starting center James Empey. So a couple of key guys are back out there tonight. Both Milne and Romney have 3 games this year with over 100 yards receiving. And here is Dax once again, and already they are out at midfield.
You better locate number 5, because if you don't, you're going to be in for a long, long day. Dax Milne is the favorite target of Zach Wilson. He'll line up on the outside, but he's not afraid to run across the middle. That time, a nice little drag route. Zach Wilson having enough time to find him for a big play.
19-yard gain there. He is the 4th leading receiver in the country coming into the weekend, is Milne. And on 2nd down and 6, they will throw it once again. Gunnar Romney with his first touch of the night. He didn't play against Texas State last week after he got hurt in the Houston game. But he is back out there. It's a revamped receiving unit. They lost their top 3 guys. They lost their top tight end. And boy, they have not skipped a beat. And we talked to offensive coordinator Jeff Grimes about it. He said the chemistry of this group, the friendship, and the work ethic has been off the charts. And that's why they've gotten off to a good start. Looking at a 3rd and 1 here just across midfield. Mason Wake, the H-back, and he is stuffed. He did not get there. Big defensive stop for Western Kentucky, and it's 4th down.
That's what you're going to need all night long if you're Western Kentucky. That type of effort. Build a wall on 3rd down, and that's what that defensive line did. Did not allow at all any push for Wake to get through. But I think that was a call that you're going to go for it, right? Zach Wilson, your quarterback, BYU offense, you are going to go for it on 4th down once you cross the 50-yard line.
5th-year head coach Kalani Sitake, former Cougar himself. Out of the eye here on 4th and 1. They will roll out Wilson. He will run for it, and he will get it. First down, BYU to keep the drive alive.
Beth, I just mentioned it, Zach Wilson, right? This is your guy. This is the Zach Wilson show. On 4th down, who would you trust the most to keep the ball in his hands? It's Zach Wilson. Give him a little run-pass option. Have him the ability to throw it if it's there, but if not, utilize that running ability and pick up the first down. Great job by Wilson on 4th down.
3 receivers with Tyler Algier offset in the backfield now with Wilson. They are coming out throwing here in their first possession of the night, and the diving play by the defensive back, Deontay Ruffin. They're going to say no catch, no pick, and it's second down off the deflection there.
Oh, tips and overthrows, right? Deontay Ruffin's just right there. A high-thrown football by Zach Wilson. And it looks like that ball looks like it probably, yeah, it did touch the ground, Beth. And look, you don't see Zach Wilson miss too often. That time the ball sailed on him, but he had great protection, just didn't throw it at the number high where he should have.
3 of 4, his first disconnect of the night on this opening drive for the undefeated Cougars. We'll try it on the turf here and run it with Tyler Algier, the leading rusher, averaging about 82 yards a game. He's got a couple of games so far on the season, over 100.
He is the lead back. And I'm surprised the first run that we've seen so far from Algier. We're going to see a lot of him tonight.
They need a third down conversion here, 3rd and 7 against the 4-man pressure. The deep ball, the diving grab inside the 5 for Gunnar Romney, and it's 1st and goal BYU.
I mean, Beth, honestly, what else can you do if you're Roger Cray, the cornerback there? What else can you do? This is a perfectly thrown ball on 3rd and 7. Look, I couldn't just walk over and hand it to Romney. That's how great of a pass that was from Zach Wilson. It's those types of plays that get people not only excited down there in Provo, Utah, but I think across the country, and why Zach Wilson, to me, I think has put his name on the Heisman, is those types of throws.
38 yards on that hookup, so spot it at the 3, 1st and goal. Algier will get the call. The cutback lost his footing at the 2-yard line, and down he goes.
You start getting down here inside that 5-yard line, you're going to get a lot of Algier, right? A lot of that 5'11", 220-pound frame. I hand it off to him right one more time.
Devin Key, the leading tackler for Western Kentucky on the season, out of the secondary, made the stop there. 2nd and goal. Big offensive line for the Cougars in front of Algier. He'll try again and keeps the legs churning. And he's in for the touchdown. 7th of the season for Tyler Algier to cap off an impressive first possession of the night for BYU.
Yeah, Beth, I just said it. You get inside that 5-yard line. As much as this is a team that tries to stay balanced, they've got a quarterback who can throw it all around the ballpark. This is a team that is nasty up front, and Tyler Algier gets right behind that offensive line with great push and extends that ball across for a touchdown.
Extra point, Jake Oldroyd, and it is good. Western Kentucky opted to defer and put that BYU offense out there first, and the Cougars will punch it in. Algier from 2 yards out, capping off a 10-play scoring drive. Zach Wilson goes 4 of 5 for 66 yards in the air on that scoring drive. 7-0 BYU as they put it on the ground to punch it in. Algier from 2 yards out, and the undefeated Cougars grabbing the early lead.
Yeah, already we've seen the Zach Wilson show. I've said it's going to be the Zach Wilson show tonight, Beth. He's already completed a nice pass to set them up for a touchdown. We'll see more of Mr. Wilson throughout the night.
His buddies Milne and Romney have both gone over 1,000 career receiving yards on that last drive, and the first chance coming up here for the Hilltoppers of Western Kentucky. They've had some injuries at quarterback, a couple of different starters, and it will be Tyrell Pigram, the grad transfer from Birmingham, Alabama, who started out as a starter at the University of Maryland. He didn't start last week, Kirk, but he finished it, had the game-winning touchdown pass, and on the season, 58%. He's also their leading rusher.
Yeah, you mentioned it last week, game-winning touchdown throw. Let's see if he can have some of that confidence breeding over this week against this BYU defense.
Well, try to run it, something that they have worked real hard to try and establish. Gage Walker, a 1,000-yard rusher a year ago. This is going to be key for them if they want to work this clock and keep the BYU offense on the sideline.
No, you're absolutely right. If they want to keep the offense of BYU on the sideline, they're going to need big chunks. They need to win that first and second down. Getting 3 on first down is great, but they want to keep those third downs definitely minimal, 3rd and 5 or less.
Pigram will look to the sideline. Their other quarterback, by the way, Kavaris Thomas, is out tonight, so their third stringer, Davis Shanley, moves up a spot if they would need him tonight. And a first down run here for Gage Walker, the senior out of Tampa. They really love his toughness and his resilience. A Western Kentucky team that was fabulous last year. They had a 6-game turnaround and went to a bowl game, picked up a win, but it's been a problem on the offensive side to start out this season against some tough competition. And a flag down, all kinds of movement on both sides pre-snap. Looks like there's going to be an offside possibly on Max Tooley.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 77, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
And they'll get the guy instead across from Max, Mason Brooks, the right tackle.
And that's something you don't see often, Beth, right? They're one of the least penalized teams in all of FBS. Last couple seasons is Western Kentucky, so an early penalty right now. And we just talked about winning first and second downs. Having a penalty like this backs them up. So this is something definitely that Western Kentucky does not want to put themselves in.
Yeah, look at that. Only 3 penalties a game for under 30 yards per game. Yeah, they play very clean. On 1st and 15, play action for Pigram. Gets it out to Mitchell Tinsley. And BYU was all over it. George Udo, new starter in the lineup tonight with Kavika Fanua out, makes a big play.
Yeah, when you're playing man-to-man, you just find your man and you stay on him. That time, Udo was not fooled. A nice tackle, open field tackle to the outside. And you get excited when you do that. It's a big play early on for Udo.
Elisa Tuiaki, they roll a lot of guys in and out. They like their depth on defense. They like to keep the fresh legs out there. It's a unit that's top 20 in the country in rush defense, total defense. They're only giving up 2 touchdowns per game in the scoring department. Good strong run again by Walker. They'll get some of that yardage back, but they won't be able to avoid what you were looking for them to stay out of, and it's 3rd and long.
Yeah, this is what all week long I'm trying to figure out. How does Western Kentucky, how do they handle 3rd down? What 3rd down will they be in? They get in 3rd and long, and this is where BYU's defense, sometimes they only rush 3, sometimes they give you 4, but they play a ton of coverage. Can Tyrell Pigram find an open window here on 3rd and 11?
Looks to the sideline, waiting for a change here. The offensive coordinator, Brian Ellis, for Western Kentucky. Against the 4-man rush, the pass is away, and it's caught at midfield again by Mitchell Tinsley, their leading receiver, and he's got the first down yardage.
That's a good job there by Pigram, right? When you think about 3rd down, you got to have protection. And that time, BYU set 4, and it was an extra late defender that came in, but just a nice job of Pigram, knowing where he wanted to go on 3rd down, also knowing where the sticks are. It's a delivery, ball caught, first down. It's a big confidence throw right there for Western Kentucky.
That was Xavier Lane, the senior out of Montgomery, Alabama, with the catch. Pigram good on his first 2 tosses tonight.
And those are confidence throws. You get a lot of confidence. You convert on 3rd down. And I think we may have a
timeout.
You get the timeout.
Western Kentucky, their first of the half. Timeout on the field. Correction. This will be a 30-second timeout. 30 seconds.
So Western Kentucky takes the 30-second timeout. There's a look at Pigram. Had some success at Maryland, but really fought the injury bug throughout his career, had a big win against Texas, and then, of course, later in that game, he ended up getting hurt and was out for the season. Wanted to try and continue playing, had an opportunity at Western Kentucky with Ty Story leaving. I would like to welcome those of you watching Alabama take care of business against Mississippi State tonight. Beth Mowens, Kirk Morrison, Stormy Bonantoni. And the early 7-0 lead for undefeated BYU. Western Kentucky just picking up a first down as they get close to midfield against what has been a very stingy BYU defense this year to complement their Heisman hopeful at quarterback, Zach Wilson.
I don't know here, Beth. Looked like the defense may have drawn a flinch by the offense. See what the referees call here.
Yeah. Offense, number 67, 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
I think you see the movement up front by BYU, and I thought the center, Seth Jost, I thought I saw him flinch a little bit, so that time caught the offensive line getting ready for something that BYU is going to throw at him.
Because you guys are supposed to hit me.
Well, this is something they're not used to. Only 3 penalties per game on average. That's already 2 in their first possession of the night.
Well, if you're trying to pull off the upset, you know you cannot do that. That's already 2 penalties that have backed you up. Now you're forcing your quarterback to have to find a way to get you out the hole.
Gage Walker will try and get around the left edge. Gets out to the 49-yard line. And we welcome you to Provo, Utah on this Halloween night. And ESPN College Football presented by Geico. The Cougars coming in ranked 11th in the country, and a big turnaround. A win tonight would match their win total from all of last year on a revamped schedule. Terrific job by their AD Tom Holmoe to put this season together for the Cougars. And they have rewarded Cougar Nation with this terrific start. Pegram out into the flat. And again, it's Xavier Lane for the short pickup. And they're looking at a 3rd down.
I like what they're doing there. If you've noticed so far, what they're doing, Beth, they're getting the ball out of Tyrell Pigram's hands early, right? Quick throws, get it into your skill position guys' hands, let them make one guy miss, and now we're in that position of 3rd and medium, 3rd and short. I like this, a 3rd and 6, allowing Pigram to find the matchup he wants and deliver.
They need the 41-yard line to keep the drive alive. What's at stake for the Hilltoppers? Well, perhaps their biggest win since they joined FBS. The goal is to win the time of possession battle and see if they can make this a game into the 4th quarter. But they are out of sorts with a couple of penalties and now a couple of burned timeouts early. We'll take the timeout with them.
Second charge to the half.
College football is presented by Geico. Happy Geico-ween. You could save even more by bundling home and car insurance. And in part by Pizza Hut. Order today at pizzahut.com.
Beautiful evening here in Provo, Utah. 7-0 BYU with the lead over Western Kentucky, and they scored it, Kirk, the first time they had it.
Yeah, it was the Zach Wilson show on the first drive. Just what we expected, right? A 4th and 1 conversion by the quarterback, utilizing his legs, getting that first down, and throwing a pretty deep ball to Gunnar Romney for 38 yards. But BYU inside the 5-yard line, it's their 220-pound back, Tyler Algier, pushing through for a touchdown. Outstanding drive by BYU to start the game.
And now Western trying to counter. They need to convert the 3rd and 6. Pigram, another completion. And how about Piggy's start? He's 4 for 4 on the night with a lot of short throws. And he keeps the drive alive, 1st and 10.
Look at the location of the football, right? That's where you want to throw it. Mitchell Tinsley's right there. He runs a quick little slant, but right now Pigram, you see the confidence in the guy. And I'm saying from last week against Chattanooga, he made the big play, the big throw for them to win the game. And so far, you're seeing that confidence breathe through him in this week against BYU.
They want to work that clock tonight. They'll go back to Gage Walker on the ground. He's met immediately in the backfield. George Udo has made a couple of nice tackles to start it out for the Cougar defense. 6-0 on the season, ranked number 11. That's the highest they've been in 11 years. They have not been 7-0 since 2001, if they can get the win tonight to match that. That's the kind of success they've had, but so far Tyrell Pigram is finding success on his own here for the Hilltoppers. Another first down throw.
Yeah, he loves Xavier Lane. That's one of his better targets already. 3 passes for Xavier Lane, but just watch. He's got a great pocket, and he delivers a strike. There is nothing wrong with the arm strength of Tyrell Pigram. It's just, can he push the ball down the field? That was a nice throw. Pick up a first down.
Stays perfect on the night. Inching closer to the red zone. First possession of the evening for Western Kentucky as that clock continues to tick. They keep Wilson and the offense on the sideline. And again, it's Gage Walker. He had 1,200 yards last year, scored 8 touchdowns. Not bad for a converted defensive back. He was pretty much the only guy they had out of the backfield. He's got some help this year.
Yeah, they do. They got Jakari Moses as well, the redshirt junior, but it's been Gage Walker, and he's finally, I think, starting to gain that traction of why he's the lead back. But it's this offensive line. Tyler Witt on the last play, a nice little pull around. And if you're Western Kentucky, you cannot take your time enough today. Take your time, slow this game down if you're on offense.
Play action. Pigram down the seam, incomplete. His first misfire, looking for the tight end Joshua Simon. Or is this a play that Simon should have made? Let's see on the replay.
Well, I'll tell you this, it gets hot in the kitchen, Beth. You know, it gets hot in the kitchen, meaning you throw in the middle of that field, you're aware of safeties around, so sometimes it may be the receiver realizing, hey, I might get hit. I don't know if I saw some alligator arms there.
They've converted their first couple of chances on third down. Looking at another one here.
All right, it's been Xavier Lane, number 9, is his go-to guy on third down so far.
Just a 3-man front. They do get pressure on the quarterback and a sack. Tonga and El Bakri both finding a seam up the middle, and it's 4th down.
When you're able to drop 7 and 8 men in coverage, the quarterback has to go through his progressions. And when you get a sack, 3 men, that's an outstanding. That's not only a coverage sack, but that's effort. That is effort up front by 3 men just finding a way. 3 against 5, and BYU gets the sack.
Zach Daw, the senior out of Pleasant Grove, Utah, the other guy bringing some heat. And a field goal attempt here on 4th down. Both these teams, by the way, perfect in the field goal kicking department so far this year. 5 for 5 for Braden Narveson, and his first attempt of the night is good. 7-3, both sides get points up the first time they have it tonight.
Update courtesy of Jahan Dotson. Watch these back-to-back catches. First, that one traps it against his pads, and then a play later. Catch of the day for the Nittany Lions wide receiver. He just added another touchdown, but they're reviewing it right now. Ohio State up.
Thank you very much, Matt. Well, the Buckeyes trying to close that out in Beaver Stadium. 7-3 BYU, the lead over Western Kentucky. Zach Wilson about to step back on the field here for the Cougars. Let's check down on the field now. Stormy Bonantoni.
Well, Beth, we talk about Zach Wilson being one of the top quarterbacks in the country right now, but hey, things haven't always gone this good for him. And he told us that he actually wears a wristband that reads "Prove them wrong" every single day to remind him of that. Said he's always felt doubted, that he wasn't the big-time recruit out of high school, said no one expected him to play at BYU as early as they did or come back from the injuries he's had. So it's a mentality he's adapted, really used it as fuel, and said the original wristband he had, he actually wore it so much that it wore off and snapped off, so he doesn't have it anymore. He's got a bunch of new ones.
And here he is, number 1 and white on the rollout, and the catch is made by Isaac Rex, the tight end. Terrific start for Zach Wilson, who's finding some of his favorite targets already.
Yeah, one of the things I think right now when you watch Zach Wilson on the run, he's an incredible thrower, right? You get in that bootleg and you allow him the option. If the play's there, you make it. If not, throw it away or use your legs. But that time showing he can throw on the run.
5 for 6, 75 yards to start out. Did you notice the other wristband, by the way, on the other hand was dominate, which of course he's been doing to defenses all season long for BYU as they try and run it up the middle. How about a look at tonight's Chick-fil-A impact players, Kurt?
Well, they've already had an impact on the game. Tyler Algier, the running back, already with a touchdown. You're going to see a lot of him. And Dax Milne, we've already know he's the favorite target of Zach Wilson. Already a couple catches today.
And off the bobble, the catch is made again. Gunnar Romney. Let's see where they spot him. Is he going to be just shy of the yard to gain? Yep, give it 2nd and 1. Three catches already over 50 yards for him. Trying to get back to Isaac Rex, and it's broken up this time. Good coverage from Antoine Kincaid. 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, this secondary for Western Kentucky, I love watching them on tape all week long. They're aggressive. They are going to get after you. They play a lot of man-to-man coverage, and that time Kincaid was able to get his hand in there. With 3rd and 1, this to me is one of those difficult downs if you're Western Kentucky, because not only can they hand it off if they're BYU, but you got to keep your eyes on the quarterback.
2 tight ends to the left side, the pitch, and they'll run it that way with Algier. No problem getting the 1st down. And the cutback at the 40, and the burst all the way down to the 21-yard line. 1st down, Cougars.
Oh, Beth, you remember old student body left? Well, here it is again. Student body left. You get a couple blockers out in front, and then you just let your running back find the hole. He gets to the outside, and this is where Algier takes over. He's a big, big back, 5'11", 220. But if you give him room and blockers in front, he's going to make sure he cashes in. A big run right there by Algier.
Rex and Wheat, the tight ends, leading the way. An assist there from Mason Wake. The H-back also got around the corner in front of Algier. From the 23-yard line of Western Kentucky. Wilson out of the gun with time. Rifles it down the middle, and it's caught for a touchdown. Dax Milne. Surgical so far for Zach Wilson. 2 possessions, 2 scores, 1 on the ground, and this one through the air, 23 yards to Dax.
Well, first of all, watch the protection. And the thing about it was he wanted to go to Milne earlier. But what happened? Milne wasn't ready for the throw. So he waited a half a beat, just a quick beat, and allowed his receiver to get open and threw a dart, man. Sometimes when the window's not open, you wait a second, wait that window open. He sure did. Found a touchdown. Dax Milne.
Quick work on that drive. 6 plays, 75 yards, just over 2 minutes. Wilson to Milne, and the 14-3 lead.
Yeah. Already, you're seeing it, right? You're seeing a quarterback who's in tune, but you allow him and you give him that kind of time, Beth, he's just going to go through his progressions, and that time he knew where he wanted to go with the football. He just had to wait, and he found it right when he needed to.
Let's check in with Stormy.
Well, I asked pass game coordinator Aaron Roderick if the numbers this year for Dax Milne had surprised him at all, a former walk-on, and he said, at this point, I've just learned not to underestimate Dax. He came on as a walk-on, ended up starting and playing in big games as a true freshman, and said every time I think he's maxed out and he's as good as he's going to be, he takes another step, and we're seeing that production once again here tonight, guys.
I like that. Dax to the max. That's what we're getting so far, right?
Pretty good for a guy that walked on as a freshman and had to wait his turn. They lost their top 3 guys from a year ago. He put in the work, this whole unit with Zach Wilson. You know, they were handed lemons in the offseason, so they made some lemonade and used the extra time for the extra work. And it is paying off. And you see on that drive, too, the importance now for Western Kentucky to control the time of possession. And it could come down to Piggy, who's already got a big win under his belt while he was at Maryland.
Yeah, he's played in some big games, and he had some big moments, and we just talked about it. If it weren't for the injury, we don't know where his career would be. But coming into tonight, going against BYU, just always understand he's been in these moments before. He knows what it takes to beat a big-time opponent. And right now, I think he's off to a pretty good start, 5 of 6. You can see the confidence so far, but he's got to keep his offense on the field.
And run it on the ground, and Gage finds some room. down close to the 40 for
Looks
Walker.
like a fumble. I think
and
that
did the
ball
ball
came loose
pop
at the
out
end.
at the tail end there?
I think it came out at the
BYU
end.
says they've got it.
Yeah, it looks like Kafusi came out with that football.
The ruling on the field is a fumble recovered by the defense. First down, BYU.
And the takeaway for the Cougar defense.
See, where's that ball at? I don't see a knee down on the ground at first look, and that was a nice little pop there. Looks like it was Zane Anderson got in there, got helmet right there on football, and it just starts to come loose before I see a knee down. I know 53 Kafusi got in there, and he held the football up with the recovery, but I think that's going to be a fumble and a recovery by BYU, getting the ball right back to that explosive offense.
No review necessary. So 1st and 10. And it's back to Zach Wilson. With some good protection, Wilson overthrows on the near sideline, looking for Gunnar Romney. Well, as we're all aware on the West Coast, the Pac-12 is returning. And next Saturday night in prime time for you, Stanford and Oregon. The Ducks, your reigning Pac-12 champs. But they've got a new quarterback in Tyler Shuck. And can the Cardinal bounce back from a disappointing 4-8 campaign a year ago when injuries really sidetracked them?
Isn't Stanford, Oregon always a fun one? It always comes down to the end.
The return of the Pac-12 and MACtion as well coming your way midweek when the MAC returns. Another connection for Zach Wilson to end the first quarter. Then a 14-3 Cougar lead. They're on the move again after the fumble recovery. And Zach Wilson and BYU off to the hot start at home tonight on Halloween. Pretty good to be playing with the guy who has set a new school record for passes without an interception, Zach Wilson. When he's got Dax Milne and Gunnar Romney to throw it to, those are their numbers coming in tonight. Add 7 more catches and over 100 yards and a touchdown. And now they're looking at a 3rd and 2. Wilson will keep and slide for the first down, and the drive continues inside the 30.
Yeah, that's one of the things I just talked about, Ben, how difficult it is on 3rd and short when you're talking about Zach Wilson. We already know about the arm, but I think the part no one talks enough about is his legs and his awareness. Look, he gets the first down, he slides, doesn't want to take a hit. So now if you're a defense, not only do you have to cover the pass, but you got to keep the eye on Zach Wilson because he can take off and run for a first down.
Our referee Kevin Hassel tonight, the umpire Apollo Martin. Don Caprell in the replay booth, and I think they've announced they're going to review where he started his slide, and that will give us an opportunity to talk a little bit more about Zach and not only the physical attributes, but what he talked to us about this week, Kirk, and the mental toughness and the focus week in and week out when the accolades keep pouring in, that he stays focused on the team goals and not the personal ones.
Well, I think he realizes that the accolades come because you keep winning, right?
Yeah.
After reviewing the play, the runner's slide began at the 30-yard line. Therefore, it'll be 4th down and 1 to go. 4th down.
Wow, so they're going to bring it back, no first down yardage. And a 4th and 1. They've already converted a 4th down tonight.
Yeah, so I think they're going to go where he starts the slide. Beth, I don't know about that one. To me, I thought that by the time he touched down, he had the first down.
When the backside hit the grass, it looked like he was a yard beyond
Absolutely.
the yard to gain, but started the slide a little earlier. So 4th down and 1. On the rollout, the toss, first down to Neil Paul, Jr. from Santa Ana, California.
Well, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? 4th and 1, they run the same play that they ran on the first drive of the game. It's a nice little rollout. You give the quarterback extra time. And look, all he does is find the wide receiver that's open. And if it's not there, he can take off and run it. But twice already on 4th down, BYU runs the same exact play, and they get, well, similar results.
As if they need more plays, right, from the Hilltopper perspective. This drive started off of the Kaufusi fumble recovery. Pump fake from Wilson. And the pass broken up down inside the 10-yard line. That was Deontay Ruffin again, denying Dax Milne.
Yeah, a little low on that pass. I know Zach probably will want that one back. But again, these are some big, tough wide receivers for BYU. And you start to get in near that red zone. You know, those are tight quarters. Those secondary, the secondary, the safeties, corners, they come bearing down. And look, they play man-to-man. Western Kentucky does, so they've got to find a way to keep that coverage on.
Algier looking impatient through the hole, waiting for his blocks. He's got the first down and more down inside the 10-yard line. And another red zone opportunity for BYU.
Wow.
Hit behind the blocker in front of him here, Kirk.
Yeah, this reminded me a lot of Le'Veon Bell, the former Pittsburgh Steeler and New York Jet, right? He gets in the hole and is just patient. But once he sees an opening, watch the acceleration. He gets to the next level. And I told you, once he gets into the open field, he's a tough guy to bring down at 5'11", 220.
Algier again following Mason Wake, who's already made some nice blocks tonight. The sophomore out of Cedar Hills, Utah, he leads the way again for Algier down inside the 5.
Well, look, if I've got a 6'1", 250-pound tight end / fullback, yeah, I'm going to find a way to stand behind him. I'll let him lead the way and take down the linebackers. But so far, Mason Wake doing an unbelievable job of creating just a little bit of space, and Algier doesn't need much, and he finds a way to get for a first down.
Well-deserved break for Wake. Lopini Katoa is now in the backfield. Wilson will keep it and score it. 3 possessions, 3 scores for BYU in the first half as they cash in the takeaway.
So much eye candy, Beth. Eye candy. That's what I call it, eye candy. Is when you got so much going to one way and yet the action is going back the other way. That's what happened on the last play. You got to keep your eyes down here on the goal line. They're either going to run the football off of backs in the backfield, but once that running back motions out, keep your eyes on who? Number 1, Zach Wilson, the guy with the football. Another touchdown.
Extra point is good. Wilson with a TD pass, Kirk, and now a touchdown run.
Yeah, look, you get down by the 5-yard line, no backs in the backfield. I think the guy wearing number 1 may keep the football. Zach Wilson, touchdown.
We welcome you back to ESPN College Football presented by Geico and the 21-3 lead BYU over Western Kentucky as the Cougars look to stay perfect on the season and perhaps even flirt with a move into the top 10. Pretty much chalk today. The one big exception, Oklahoma State lost to Texas in overtime. Let's take you from plan to play now, brought to you by Northwestern Mutual.
Well, the plan worked exceptionally well, and why is that? The plan was for Zach Wilson to run with it the whole time, but watch the running back, Lopini Katoa. Watch the action. He goes and motions out, and the attention goes to Katoa, and then you've got one-on-one Zach Wilson with the linebacker Eli Brown, who was on a blitz, didn't even recognize Zach Wilson running. That's an easy touchdown. Great plan and great play by BYU.
Piglum hands it off to Gage Walker in a run of about 9. Sometimes, Kirk, when you get that man in motion, it's simple math, right? As a quarterback, you're just counting guys on the left side of the line and the right side of the line.
Yeah, that's a design. They knew that Western Kentucky plays a lot of man coverage. So you send a guy out, that means one less defender in the box, like you mentioned, Beth. And that's easy. I mean, Zach Wilson leading quarterbacks in rushing touchdowns in FBS. There's a reason why.
Yeah.
He smells the end zone.
That's number 7 on the ground. He's also added one through the skies tonight, number 17 through the air for Wilson. Walker continues to run strong here in the first half for Western Kentucky. Or excuse me, that's Jakari Moses, who is now checked into the ball game.
And if
Moses,
you're Western
the junior
Kentucky,
out of Palm Beach.
if you're Western Kentucky, Beth, I know you look at the score, 21-3. You think, okay, we got to put the ball in the air. Still plenty of time left. Run your offense. Run your offense in terms of getting the run game going. Get that going solid. I think that can help them get back in this game just to complete a full drive and not have a turnover like they did on the last one.
A turnover. They've already burned 2 timeouts. They've already been penalized twice. They only average 3 flags per game.
There is no foul on the play for false start. First down.
But the one bright spot was the field goal possession. They had the ball for over 8 minutes, and that's what they're looking for here, is another extended drive to get some points up.
Well, I want to see at least 3 6-minute drives per half, okay? With first half, second half, because that tells me that you're not only running the football, you're keeping your offense on the field, but more importantly, you're keeping Zach Wilson on the sideline.
1st and 10, Hilltoppers. A nice cutback from Morris. Let's check into the studio on Matt Berry.
All right, Beth, Capital One fan vote update time. Virginia was running away from North Carolina, but here comes Javonte Williams up the middle. Tar Heels now within 3. 2:12 left in this game over on ACC Network.
A wild one, the Heels and the Who's tonight out of the ACC. Both Clemson and Notre Dame were winners today. Clemson in a squeaker. Notre Dame handled Georgia Tech. They meet next week, the big showdown in South Bend. Out in the flat to Morris. It's going to bring up 3rd down.
And that's a throw. If I'm Tyrell Pigram, I throw that ball away. So now you've backed yourself up by throwing a pass short of the line of scrimmage. What could have been 3rd and 8, 3rd and 7. Now it's 3rd and 12, a lot longer distance now on 3rd down. And again, BYU, they're going to rush 3. They're going to rush maybe 4 at the most. They're going to keep 7 in coverage. Pigram has to find the open window on this long down and distance.
They lost 5 on that throw. Utes are bringing the blitz. Pigram gets the pass away, back shoulder, and it is incomplete. 4th down. Looking for Therese Traynor. It was D'Angelo Mandel on the coverage.
Yeah, BYU brought the pressure, right? They usually bring 3 or 4. This time they brought 6. And they made Pigram have to rush to throw. He went back shoulder, but an outstanding job defensively by BYU, being on top of it, playing nice tight man-to-man on 3rd and 12.
John Haggerty is on the Ray Guy watch, averages 44 yards per punt. And the Hilltoppers will down it. Hey, Big Red's in the house tonight on the road, dressed as Captain America, but we see right through that disguise. BYU and Western Kentucky, 21-3. The Cougars with the lead over the Hilltoppers. Beth Mowens, Kirk Morrison, Cosmo, the Cougar, and Big Red for Western Kentucky. And we bring them on board with us, Kirk, because those two are a big reason why this game came to be in the first place.
Yeah, they're a huge reason. 2 iconic mascots in collegiate sports. When you see Cosmo and Big Top out there, I mean, both these guys, first of all, great dance moves. I know for me, I just don't have that in me. Maybe you do, but I think that 80s look by Cosmo earlier, that works.
And then America on this Halloween night on the road. They could use a little Captain America on the defensive side for the Hilltoppers. They have not had an answer for Zach Wilson, and the BYU attack, 3 drives, 3 touchdowns, including cashing in 7 points off of a turnover. And for Zach Wilson, for most of you watching tonight, wondering what he can do this evening, he's already got a passing and a rushing touchdown. Tyler Algier has the other rushing TD tonight. 9 for 13 for Wilson, 122 yards. And they've had a good balanced run attack. Lopini Katoa is back in there, giving Algier the break, and the hookup with Dax Milne for the first down out of bounds around the 30.
Yeah, you mentioned the balanced running attack, but I think it's the balance within the offense itself, right? 14 throws now for Zach Wilson in this game, and they've got 12 runs. But to me, it's the threat on the outside, right? Gunnar Romney coming back from injury, to me, brings this, I think, wide receiving group, Beth, it brings them whole, right? It brings them, I think, now to a sense where Zach Wilson can throw the ball and feel like anybody's going to be able to bring it down.
Gunnar Romney is back in the lineup after missing the last game, so he and Milne have been a lethal combo again here in the first half. Wilson on the rollout, and that throw incomplete, just out of bounds, as we welcome those of you who've been watching Ohio State beat Penn State tonight. Justin Fields with the 4 touchdowns. And now a look at Zach Wilson. Probably the leading contender, right, Kirk, for Heisman Trophy would be Trevor Lawrence. He missed today's game for Clemson. It was announced after the game he will miss next week against Notre Dame as well. And certainly Fields and now Zach Wilson, more and more attention as the undefeated record continues to grow for the Cougars. He'll hook up there with Romney. And that was sniffed out nicely. Omari Alexander with the stop. It's third down.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned it, though, Beth. It's the more wins for BYU, this football team's going to be on TV a lot of national TV games, and everyone's going to look at Zach Wilson, and they got to see what kind of player that he is. So far, having a great night, but it's these types of plays here, 3rd and 12, that makes, I think, Zach Wilson special. See what he dials up here.
Incomplete, looking for Milne in traffic, and a big hit. Devin Key, the leading tackler for the Hilltoppers, teamed up with Deontay Ruffin, but there is a flag at the scene.
Definitely looked like some helmet-to-helmet contact there, probably in the area of targeting. But I talked about some of the throws that when you throw inside those hash marks, right? I call it the kitchen. It gets hot in there. But he's got some tough receivers that time. Safety looked to be bearing down.
The ruling on the field is an incomplete pass during the play. Personal foul, targeting, defense number 2. That previous play is under review.
And Kirk, it does not appear from that replay that that review will allow Devin Key to remain in the game. That certainly looked like a targeting foul that would result in his ejection for the rest of the night. That would be big for Western.
Yeah, I think that we have indicators for targeting, right? The number one indicator I see is, do we have a launch? And I see a launch, meaning he jumps and launches himself. I see a lowering of the helmet. That is another indicator for targeting. And we know contact above the head or above the neck and head area. I think that's targeting.
The play,
he's done for the game.
The ruling of targeting is confirmed. Number 2 of the defense is disqualified. The 15-yard penalty will be assessed from the previous spot. First down.
So the call is confirmed. Yeah. Key, the new rule this year is you do not have to leave the sideline. You can stay out there with your teammates, but he is out for the remainder of the game. For this Western Kentucky secondary, they've been under duress much of the night with Wilson, 11 for 16, 132 yards. Kendrick Simpkins, number 16, a freshman, will replace Key in the back. Play action, Wilson heaves it deep downfield, looking for Milne, who got a hand on it but could not haul it in. There is a flag down as well.
Zach Wilson showing off right there, Beth. He let that football go at the 35-yard line. And where did it land? It landed somewhere, I know, inside the 5-yard line. We talk about his accuracy, but look at the strength on that arm.
Defense, number 29, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, results in an automatic first down.
That was on Beanie Bishop, who is finally healthy and back in the lineup tonight for Western Kentucky.
So would you say that ball landed about the 2-yard line, Beth? And
yeah.
He threw it from about the opposite 35. Man, that's just throwing and putting that arm on display. But it also puts pressure on the defense. That time they got the penalty.
On first down, out of the backfield, Katoa wide open. The cutback inside the 20, the 10, the 5, and he weaves his way into the end zone. Cougars offense stays a perfect 4 for 4 tonight.
I'll tell you this, when Tyler Algier is in the game, the other back 25, they run the ball predominantly. But if Lopini Katoa's in, he's, to me, the passing running back. When he's in the game, you have to have all eyes on number 4 as well. No one's out there, and that's an easy throw for the quarterback. Just give it to your guy, Katoa, and let him race into the end zone. That's an easy touchdown for Zach Wilson. All the work being done by Katoa.
28-3 Cougars, 7:44 to go in the half.
Well, no one's going to cover me out of the backfield. Okay, I'll just take what I can get, but I'll get a touchdown even better.
Don't forget to vote on Election Day, November 3rd. For more information, visit IamAvoter.com.
An impressive first half of play for the BYU Cougars and the 28-3 lead, 7:44 to go in the half. They've scored every time they've had the football. The defense has also forced a turnover tonight as they try and stay perfect. Well, tomorrow it's MLS Soccer Sunday. The Columbus Crew hosting the best team in the league this year, the Philadelphia Union. 3:30 Eastern on the start, 12:30 Pacific. Both those sides have already qualified for the playoffs, which will get underway on November 20th. As they would say across the pond, Kirk, Philly tops the table. The Crew sit 9 points back in third.
I like it, Beth. I like it.
There you go. There you go. All right, let's see what Western Kentucky can get going. Jakari Moses with the carry, picks up about 7.
Yeah, Western Kentucky needs a drive here, right? They need points. That first drive of the game, and like I always say, the first drive is usually scripted, right? You've been going over these plays all week, and you're like, okay, this is what we're going to come out with. But once the script is over, where does this offense go? And I think this is the big drive for them to see if they not only can stay in this game, but they need big points. They need at least 7 here.
Morris tries to bounce to the outside, lost his footing. It's going to bring up 3rd and short.
You know, one thing, what have we not seen? What have we not seen so far, Beth, right? It's Tyrell Pigram running the football. That's one of his attributes, right? Getting out of the pocket and allowing his legs and a couple yards, especially here on 3rd and 2. I'll keep my eye on the quarterback. Just got to get lined up first.
Just 90 yards of total offense so far in the first half for the Hilltoppers. And they'll get to conversion here. And the new set of downs as they go back to Gage Walker, who had the fumble earlier in the half. We saw more of Jakari Morris, and now Walker back in there to get some tough yardage.
Yeah, we get a little unbalanced formation, tied into the right, only a guard and tackle to the backside. And that time Walker got just enough. Just enough, that's all you need to keep the chains moving.
Play action on 1st and 10. Pigram puts it over the top, and then it's jarred loose on a big hit from Troy Warner after Joshua Simon had hands on.
Now you got to bring that in if you're Joshua Simon. I know the hit's coming, but this is a great throw from Tyrell Pigram. He puts it right over the top of the linebacker, and he's got to bring that ball all the way in. I think just being a little bit of lackadaisical, catching it and not pulling it all the way into the body. If he does that, Simon has a catch on a terrific thrown ball from Pigram.
Big hit from Warner, the senior from San Marcos, California. Short game. Let's check in with Stormy.
Well, guys, I went over to the Western Kentucky sideline for most of this opening half, and I got to tell you, Terrell Pigram has been extremely even-keeled, which plays into what offensive coordinator Brian Ellis has really talked about with him. He said he's a really mature kid. He's been through the fire, been a starter, been a backup, and has to do everything in different positions to win games, and you can see the even-keeledness on the sideline for sure.
Looking to make a big play here on third down. They're going to come up short. He's a grad student from Birmingham, Alabama, who's had to overcome injuries and adversity throughout his career, including turf toe recently, earlier this season with Western Kentucky, 4th and 3, and it looks like the offense is going to head to the side.
Yeah, I think too many times Pigram wants to make the perfect play, and that time on 4th and 8, you need 8 yards, not a short pass underneath, and that time he's got to push the ball just a little bit down the field to keep the chains moving. Another punt for Western Kentucky.
And that will bound down inside the 15-yard line. And the BYU offense has 4.5 minutes to work with. Their last 3 scoring drives have all been under 2.5 minutes. And of course, when you're talking about playoffs, we've seen most of those teams already win today. Of course, Wisconsin postponed, and Oregon and USC will start next week. But there's BYU sitting there at 13%, Kirk.
One of the positives that BYU has games, and it will continue to play games. And you look at Wisconsin, look, they didn't play today. And look, when it comes down to it at the end, Beth, how many games will they have played? When you think about a BYU team that can play 9-10 games and be undefeated, how could you not take a look at them?
Boy, a dangerous shovel pass there, falls incomplete. I think one of the issues for BYU is, and their AD Tom Holmoe, will they look for more games? They only have 3 games left after tonight. And so they have 4 open dates when the selection committee starts meeting and starts deciding who gets seated where. And so will they still be able to make an impact, even undefeated, as we get deeper into the season? And other teams will be playing a lot more. Of course, they're an independent, so they won't have a conference championship to play for. Huge game looming next weekend against Boise State. They won tonight, and then your school, the Aztecs of San Diego State, to close it out in December. Chance of finishing undefeated falls below 50%, according to FPI.
Well, I think the one thing for BYU is that they cannot win ugly. They are going to have to win pretty. Let's be honest, right? Right now, 28-3, and looks to be in control of this football game. But if Coach Kalani Sitake starts going into these games thinking, I need to get attention of voters, and right now it may be margin of victory that maybe get the College Football Playoff Committee to, I think, take this BYU Cougars team more serious.
Stormy?
Well, when you talk about those open dates, I had a chance to speak with Tom Holmoe earlier today, and he said, we're always working, but we're not just filling dates anymore like at the start of the season. We were doing everything we could to piecemeal together a schedule. Like, a lot of the things have to come together in order to add a quality game at this point, and it takes 2 to tango. He said he's put a bunch of feelers out to different places. He'll talk to different contacts, but if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's a little different world that all the ADs and coaches and players are living in this fall. Wilson heaves it deep down the middle of the field, incomplete. Boy, got a lot of air under that one again, and on the money, looking for Keanu Hill.
I mean, the more you watch Zach Wilson, does he ever throw a bad ball? I think that first one on this drive was a dangerous throw, but look at his passes. That should be caught by the wide receiver. I mean, you can't throw a ball better than that. And that time, he's got to bring that all the way in. He made a catch like that last week, but that one, that's right in his armpits.
First time tonight with back-to-back incompletions. It's 3rd and 7. Dancing, extending the play, hit on the release, and it will fall incomplete. And it's 4th down, and now a penalty flag way downfield.
couple things here, Beth. You get the late penalty down there at the end of the play. That's part of what Zach Wilson can do, right? Extend the play, and it puts stress on the defense to have to cover the entire down, right, with 5-6 seconds. But I want to see, was that ball tipped, and does that count? If that ball was tipped or hit by a defender, will that still hold up if there's a penalty in the back end?
The ruling on the play is an incomplete pass. After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 9. That's a 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Results in an automatic first down.
That's on Dom Bradshaw, and that is costly. Well, after the play, the shove of Milne from behind and right in front of the official.
Yeah, that's frustration right there, right? Milne already in the game, 4 catches for 57 yards, kind of wearing his secondary out. That is a frustration foul and a costly one for Western Kentucky.
And that allows BYU to keep the football and Wilson to run across midfield for another first down.
The dangerous Zach Wilson, right? You open the lanes up and he'll find it, hurting the defense there. But again, coming off of the heels of that penalty, right now Western Kentucky putting themselves in a bad situation. Wilson taking advantage.
Over 200 yards of total offense. He'll throw for another first down to Milne. He's been responsible for 3 of their 4 touchdowns tonight, which gives him 25 on the season. Only Sam Ehlinger with 27 at Texas has more. Slings that sidearm to Isaac Rex, and it's into the red zone.
Oh, here you go. See, you notice one thing from Zach Wilson is confidence. I mean, you got to be a confident player to throw one sidearm, right? Looks like an old sidewinder pitcher in Major League Baseball, but he can throw from different angles.
Short gain as he tried to get to the outside. Wrapped up by Trey Meadows.
That's a good tackle by Meadows too, right? Keeping his eyes on the quarterback, understanding what's his responsibility, playing discipline. But 3rd and 2 here, you need that same discipline, but also, if I'm Clayton White, the defensive coordinator for Western Kentucky, what haven't I done? I've blitzed them, I've played coverage, but I would think right now I need to keep a safety over the top at all times. Keep a safety in the middle of the field, but here with both backs in, you don't know which one BYU can hand it to.
3rd down and 2. Katoa makes a move to get the first down and fights his way inside the 10-yard line.
That play was similar to the touchdown play earlier, right, Beth? Mm-hmm. Down near the goal line.
Other side, yep.
Yeah, they put Katoa in motion. And that time, the action from earlier, they actually threw a kind of a screen pass. Just get him out there on the perimeter, make a couple guys miss.
Continues to add to the school record, 179 attempts without an INT. He's 1 yard shy of 200 yards for the night. And they're looking at 1st and goal with the clock running under a minute to go in the half, trying to make it 5 possessions and 5 scores. Rolling out to his left, incomplete into the front corner of the end zone, under through Milne.
Little reverse action coming out. That time didn't get the hips all the way around, try to square up and throw a nice little pass. That's a late developing play, just a little bit off.
Over 300 yards of total offense here in the first half. Milne and Romney, 10 catches, over 130 yards receiving. Algier with 71 yards on the ground. Here is Tyler. Hit as the helmet pops off and another penalty flag is down. Eli Brown made the tackle. But let's see, did he get up high on the helmet? They have already had one defender, Devin Key, ejected for targeting here in the first half. Brown 32 in red, and it's the face mask reaching in from behind. I think that was Ricky Barber, number 50.
Personal foul.
Yeah, I thought it was the
face
hit.
mask.
It was the face mask.
On the defense, number 5. that half the distance to the goal, automatic first down. Number 25 may remain in the game.
So because it was the result of a penalty, Tyler Algier, usually you lose your helmet, you have to come out of the game, but not on a penalty. He can stay in there.
Correction. The foul was on player number 50. 50.
And that is Barber, the redshirt freshman out of Louisville. And they will restart the clock under 30 seconds. And a timeout called by BYU.
BYU, this is their
take
first
the break
charge
with
of the
them. Final
half.
29 seconds of the first half when we come back.
Half, Dabo Swinney's already made a decision with Trevor Lawrence ahead of next week's Notre Dame game. Plus, Ohio State has their way with Penn State and is the Big 12 already out of the playoff. I know BYU fans want to hear that. Jesse Palmer, Joey Galloway join me coming up at the half.
Cannot wait to hear their thoughts. Matt Berry, of course, for BYU, Oklahoma State losing today means there will not be an undefeated Big 12 champion. BYU's chances of the New Year's Six or a playoff, they'd love if there wasn't an undefeated Pac-12 champion as well when all is said and done.
Yeah, we know the Pac-12 starting up next week. We'll see who the real contenders from the Pac-12. And look, remember, it's going to be week one, Beth. So I'm not going to put all my stake in whoever looks good in week one. We've seen so far in college football, you can look great in your first game and then absolutely horrible in your second game. So still a lot of time, a lot of football left to be played.
Final 30 seconds here of the half. Can BYU make it 5 for 5? Incomplete. Touchdowns in their first 4 possessions of the half, including 3 drives. If this one they can punch in of better than 80 yards. They're looking at 2nd and goal right now. Zach Wilson, 2 touchdown passes, 1 touchdown run. And he has set the school record for attempts without an interception. Dating back to the season opener. 50-50 ball broken up, incomplete, intended for Isaac Rex, and it's 3rd down.
Yeah, why not throw it up? Throw it up to your 6'6", 247-pound freshman. Beanie Bishop showing off that vertical leap, because that's a mismatch all day. 5'10" versus 6'6". I almost put my money on Isaac Rex, but a terrific job by Beanie Bishop playing through the hands, knocking that ball away.
Timeout. BYU, their 2nd charge to the half. 30 seconds in length.
BYU will call it 2nd timeout. They've got 1 left. A reminder, tomorrow on Sunday NFL Countdown, Randy Moss will go one-on-one. He's got to sit down with Tom Brady. And before Tua makes his NFL debut, we're sitting down with some of the greatest left-handers in history. Tua getting his first start with the Dolphins. Sunday NFL Countdown tomorrow at 10 Eastern on ESPN. Highlighted by the Pittsburgh at Baltimore game, but I know for BYU fans, they'll be checking out Jamal Williams, Packers and Minnesota. Aaron Jones will be out, so Jamal will get to carry the rock quite a bit, Kirk.
Yeah, 2 weeks in a row. Luckily, I started him on my fantasy last week.
There you go.
He came through for me a little bit, Jamal Williams. Can he do it 2 weeks in a row, Beth? Here we go, Jamal. Let's go, buddy.
Star running back for the Cougs, over 3,900 yards rushing here in Provo, and they're looking at a 3rd and goal right now. And the same play and a different result. Isaac Rex with the touchdown grab. 5 drives and 5 scores in the first half for BYU. And a 34-3 lead. 4th touchdown of the night that Wilson is responsible for. $88 yards and 15 plays. Near flawless in the first half for the Cougar offense.
Yeah, you said it, Beth. They did a repeat. It was a repeat play, but like you mentioned, a different result. Beanie Bishop, number 29, he's 5'10". I've got a tight end in Isaac Rex, who's 6'6". We didn't get it the first time, but guess what? Let's try it again. I think Bishop competing all the way through the play, but that's just a basketball rebound, right? Rex just gets up, grabs the ball at its point, and wrestles it and turns his body away. Bishop couldn't get that hand all the way through. But again, a terrific ball by Zach Wilson, knowing where his guy can go get it and make the play. Another touchdown for BYU in the first half.
And the drive kept alive, remember, by the penalty, the fourth down penalty, personal foul on Western Kentucky that set up BYU with the extra first down to keep that drive alive, and Wilson made him pay for it. "16 seconds to go in the first half." Boise State coming up next week, then North Alabama, then San Diego State to close it out. As the kick will find its way all the way down inside the 10-yard line. And Western Kentucky will go from there. I know, Kirk, you're excited about basketball season almost set to tip off. Look at the photo here, courtesy of @KirkMorrison. Tell us about this.
That was the last time that I was in Provo, Utah. Now, I played there as a collegiate, but this time I went as a fan. Back January 26, 2011, I was a fan, and I kept hearing about this thing called Jimmer Mania.
Jimmer and Kawhi were in the house that night with you.
I was in the house that night as my San Diego State Aztecs were number 4 in the country. BYU was number 9, and I witnessed Jimmer Fredette put up 43 big ones on my Aztecs and come away with a victory, and got a nice little photo on the old BlackBerry.
A lot of BYU fans know about that picture, courtesy of Kirk Morrison. 35-3 at the half. Cannot wait to hear from Matt Berry, Joey Galloway, and Jesse Palmer in the studio. That's back to ESPN College Football, presented by Geico. 5 drives, 5 touchdowns in the first half for BYU, and a 35-3 lead, over 300 yards of total offense. And Kirk, a big problem for the Hilltoppers with the penalties.
Yeah, look, you get 6 penalties for 59 yards, and that's not really your ammo. You come in averaging 3 or less, you're going to be behind in a game. And you look at BYU, it was a non-factor for them, sort of a flawless first half. They created turnovers. They completed their drives with touchdowns. They are in full control of this football game.
Western Kentucky will have it to start out the second half. Let's check in with Stormy Bonantoni.
Well, Beth, Kirk, those penalties were the first thing that Tyson Helton said that he addressed with his group in the locker room. He said there's nothing he hates more than personal fouls, penalties that you can control. So he's really hoping they can get that in check. And said, honestly, his message to the guys, though, was just to go out there and have fun. Play for your brothers. Try to make this the most of the opportunity that you can. And Kalani Sitake on the BYU end actually...
To the goal, first down, Western Kentucky.
So a penalty there on the receiving team, but we'll just say for Kalani Sitake's group, for as flawless as you guys say they played, his message to his group was still, how can we improve? And he said he'd really like to see more first downs on offense and defense.
Thank you very much, Stormy. Well, wow, as she was speaking, a 4th personal foul penalty against Western Kentucky. First play out of the locker room. Very uncharacteristic. And they will start back inside their own 15-yard line, 1st and 10. Tyrell Pigren, who got the start tonight. And the give is to Gage Walker, and he'll run it for close to 10. One of the least penalized teams in the country, but a different story tonight. And already 71 yards in penalties. They only had 100 yards of total offense in that first half. They scored the field goal on their first possession and then shut out after that. And Walker will run here. Looks like he's got the yardage for the first down.
Let's see where they mark him at. Looks like maybe just a little bit short, Beth, and that's because he lost his footing there. But now, if you're, again, Western Kentucky, you've got to convert here on 3rd down. Start putting drives together. That should also be what Coach Tyson Helton should be telling his guys. We just got to complete our drives. Do what we do, especially right here. Run the football well. Give it to Gage Walker.
Check to the sideline here on 3rd and 1. Walker's got the ball, and he's got the push forward for the first down. Second-year head coach Tyson Helton. They had tremendous success a year ago, went to a bowl game and picked up a postseason win. And he was talking to us this week, Kirk, about the opportunity that they had coming to BYU. Obviously, it did not go the way they wanted in the first half. Now your pride kicks in. Your opportunity to play against a quality opponent here in the second half to see what you can do. Pigram drops it off underneath. And he's got Mitchell Tinsley out across the 30-yard line. Of course, for Tyson Helton, it is a family affair. Coach of the Year in Conference USA last year. His dad, Kim Helton, was also a Conference Coach of the Year on his days in Houston. And, of course, you've got Clay Helton, his brother, the current head coach at USC. They will kick off their season next week when the Pac-12 gets underway. USC will be hosting Arizona State. And Walker will pick up another first down on the run. And Kirk, that's going to be interesting to see. Is that a 9 a.m. kickoff on the West Coast, right?
Yeah, it's not going to be Pac-12 after dark. It's Pac-12 before brunch. That's what they're calling now, Pac-12 before brunch, as they will start to hopefully steal some of those viewers in that early morning window of college football next Saturday.
Well, we're turning our clocks back this week. It might be Pac-12 in the dark, depending on what time sunrise is in Los Angeles. But great to have the Pac-12 back. And, of course, Maction will kick off. We've got games for you on Wednesday night on the ESPN networks. As Western Kentucky continues the drive. There's a look at the Pac-12 schedule. Arizona, Utah on the U. UCLA, Colorado on ESPN2. Stanford, Oregon, the primetime game on ABC. And there's some Pac-12 After Dark on ESPN. Washington and the Cal Bears at 10:30 all next Saturday night.
Yeah, but I think if you're a BYU Cougar fan, the games that you're going to worry about right now are USC and Oregon. Those are the teams that people are pitting the Pac-12 to kind of be the leaders, maybe joining the college football playoff. You need those teams to lose maybe a couple times in order to have you in the discussion at the end for the CFP.
Gage Walker will get the carry. Of course, they cannot be the group of 5 representative in the New Year's Six Bowls, but they could get an at-large bid, and they certainly, if they can run the table and do so impressively, put themselves squarely in the conversation for a playoff spot. This is the best drive that Western Kentucky has put together since their first possession of the night when they got their field goal. Pigram with pressure coming up the middle. Finds Walker, breaks a tackle, gets across midfield and down to the 46-yard line.
You like Pigram there. What is he doing? He's extending the play and finding an open guy. But I want to see him push the ball down the field. I mean, the dinks and the dunks are great. Look great right now so far. You look at the completion percentage, you get excited. Like, wow, he's completing passes. But you got to start pushing the ball down the field, especially down 35-3. You got to put some pressure on that secondary of BYU.
On 2nd and 5, Walker. First down yardage. You know, we go back to Tyson Helton and his dad, Kim, and Tyson was telling us some great stories growing up around his dad, sitting around the kitchen table, spending time in the locker room, hearing stories about guys like Marcus Allen and Bo Jackson, and that's all information that he can pass along to his guys like a Gage Walker and a Jakari Morris. Talks a lot about, as a head coach, can you help your guys? And you have to let them know that you love them. And they will go to work for you. Cut down in the flat, Joshua Simon. Isaiah Herring with the stop.
And now, Beth, once you cross the 50-yard line now, let's be honest. If you're Western Kentucky, you're putting pressure on. You're going for on 4 downs here. You got to start trying to get the points, put the pressure on BYU. But look, another throw from Tyrell Pigram that's right near the line of scrimmage. You got to start pushing the ball down the field. The 1-yard routes are just not going to do it.
2nd and 9. Moses caught in the backfield. Isaiah Kaufusi, who had the forced fumble and the recovery in the first half for BYU, leading the charge there. Senior out of Cottonwood Heights, Utah, and the latest in a long line of Kaufusis. His brother Jackson also in the linebacking core for the Cougars this year.
I felt like I've seen that name over and over. It's like there's always going to be a Kaufusi at BYU or Utah, man. These guys are a football family.
This is the 13th play of the drive here coming up, a 3rd and 9. Pigram drops it off from Moses with some work to do, and he will get close to the line to gain. Let's see where they mark him.
Looks to be just about at that yard marker. That's a great job by Moses lowering the shoulder. He didn't have the first down at all, and he went and lowered the helmet a little bit, lowered the shoulder pads, got low, and I think he may have got just enough for that first down.
And they will give it to him. Just shy of the 28-yard line. Only 3 men coming this time, and Pigram with time overthrows the intended receiver, Tinsley.
Oh, man, 3-man rush, too. 3-man rush, and he had him wide open. I think he just didn't feel step into the throw. I mean, he has got him. Just one of those throws I wish he could have had back, or I think he wish he could have had back, because that was the play he's been looking for all game long. He just missed a touchdown on that throw.
That was his first miss of the drive. Piggy 5 for 6 on this possession. Second and 10, Walker with the catch out of the backfield, weaving down inside the 25. That'll set him up with a 3rd and about 5.
Third and 6 here, Beth. We haven't called the name of Xavier Lane, right? Number 9, wide receiver, 5th-year senior. He's a guy that was kind of an early target for Pigram. Can he find Xavier Lane on his 3rd down?
Pigram 4 for 6 so far on 3rd downs. Xavier Lane with the 3 catches for 31 yards, most of those early in the ball game. And the downfield throw into the end zone and out the side, incomplete. Looking for Jeremiah Fales, the redshirt freshman. And now it's 4th and 6.
Yeah, I like the idea there, right? Take a chance at the end zone. Why not? You got one-on-one coverage to the outside, just an overthrown ball, but I like the idea. I really do. And Pigram just got to put the ball a little bit more inbounds. Give his wide receiver a chance to get that one. That one sailed way too far out of bounds. Can't make a play on that.
16th play of the drive. Can they extend it here with the conversion on 4th down? Blitz coming up the middle. Pigram will run from it. He's got the first down inside the 5 and spinning down to the 1-yard line. 1st and goal, Hilltoppers.
And finally, we see it, Beth. I've been calling for it all game. I think Pigram, he doesn't do this enough. Look, there's nothing there, but utilize the ability that you have. Take off and run. We've seen it in his earlier years in college at Maryland. Haven't seen it much of recent, but that's the type of play that puts pressure on the defense. And that's a big gain for Pigram right there, setting his team up 1st and goal.
He's in the backfield with Gage Walker offset. Over 9 minutes off the clock, the 17th play of the drive. Walker hit at the line of scrimmage and taken down. Troy Warner came off the edge, one of the first guys there.
Kind of similar to last week for Western Kentucky, right? They get down inside the 5-yard line against Tennessee Chattanooga. Took them 4 downs, but they scored a touchdown at the end to win the football game. You get inside the 5-yard line, got to look to your sides. You got sides on the outside in the receivers. Rainer Trainer on the outside, 6'3". You got Xavier Lane as well, 6'4". Wouldn't be surprised if they go back to what worked for them last week against UTC. Maybe a nice little throw, little fade route, allow the big wide receivers to out-jump them.
Throw into the back of the end zone and out, incomplete. Intended for Joshua Simon. And now it's a timing throw.
That's a timing throw, Beth. That is a timing throw. It has to happen. Quick fake, and it has to be out now. You cannot wait any longer. It's not enough real estate in the back of the end zone. That ball has to be thrown right away. You take too long, and that's what happened. Not enough room in the back of the end zone for Simon to pull it down.
This play will put the possession over 10 minutes to start out the 3rd quarter for Western Kentucky. Pigram incomplete. And they will need a 20th play to try and score. It's 4th down.
Yeah, you get in the 3rd and 4th down. I told you, they may go to the fade route. They may go, and that time they went after Xavier Lane, 6'4", 205. It worked last week. Do they go back to it? If you have the height advantage, you just got to allow him. Just give him a ball where he can go up and just make a play on it. Don't put it or try to aim it anywhere. If I got one-on-one right now at the top, Xavier Lane, 6'4", on the 6-foot Keenan Ellis, I like my matchup.
He's missed his last 3 throws, has Pigram. Walker again in the backfield on 4th and goal. They'll try and run it, and Walker reaching across the line. They're going to spot him just short. And BYU holds. They will take over on downs with the ball spotted inside the 1.
Short of the goal line. The ball is turned over on downs.
20 plays and over 10 minutes off the clock, and the Hilltoppers come up empty. And a big 4th down stop for BYU.
Something to believe.
ESPN, home of the college football playoff.
Well, the semifinals on New Year's Day, followed by the national championship. Who's going to be there? 4 spots. Can BYU snag one? Well, they'll probably need some help along the way. They got a big boost today with Oklahoma State losing. That means the Big 12 champ will not be undefeated. Cincinnati did win today. The Cougars would probably benefit from a Bearcat loss along the way. As we revisit tonight's Chick-fil-A Impact players, and Kirk, you were on the money with these 2 guys.
Well, I felt like these guys were going to be the tools that you need to win the football game, and right now it has been the running back Tyler Algier. He's got 10 carries, 72 yards, and a touchdown. And Dax Milne already 5 catches, 67 yards, and a touchdown. Both guys making an impact on this football game.
So BYU, after the 4th down stop that ended a 20-play, 10-minute, 6-second drive, they will try and churn it out of near their own goal line. 35-3. They scored every time they had the ball, scored a touchdown every time they had the ball. 5 for 5 in the first half. Now their first possession here of the second. Algier. Out across the 10 for the first down. How about the Burger King King of the Moment, brought to you by Burger King.
You know, so many times we talk about the accuracy of Zach Wilson, but for me, I just love the ball placement, right? The ball placement for his footballs, except on that last one. Uh-oh, Beth, we got trouble.
The interception for Western Kentucky, and that will end the streak for Zach Wilson, his first pick since their season opener 5 games ago. And that will set Western Kentucky up. It's Deontay Ruffin, the senior out of Kenner, Louisiana.
First of all, the ball's on the other half, so it's a long throw, one of the more dangerous throws in all of college football or football in general, throwing from one side to the other. Deontay Ruffin making Zach Wilson pay for a bad mistake.
(35-3), BYU in the lead. The interception, though, for Deontay Ruffin, that ends the streak at 185 passes without a pick for Zach Wilson, Kurt.
Yeah, only his second interception on the year, and that was probably his worst ball of the night, throwing from one hash all the way across the field. When you throw late, that's a recipe for disaster, and that time Ruffin made him pay with the interception.
3 touchdown passes for Wilson. He's got a touchdown run. He's only hit on 57% of his throws tonight. That is well below his average of 78%. And now the pick sets up Western Kentucky inside the 5. They've been stopped already once tonight at the 1-yard line. Last time they were down here. And diving into the end zone and scoring is Joshua Simon. So they cash in off of the turnover. Pigram to Ruffin. And now Narveson on to attempt the PAT. Both teams now have scored off of turnovers. And that makes it 35-10 with 3:09 to go in the third.
Oh, nice play design. You get everybody thinking you're going to pitch it to the outside. Throw a little shovel pass underneath to the tight end, Simon. Western Kentucky get a touchdown.
Turnovers allowed all season by BYU after the Wilson interception. Zach tonight, 16 for 28, 203 yards. He's got the 3 TD passes and the 1 rushing touchdown. But the points, Pigram to Ruffin, ends the stretch of 28 unanswered for BYU and the 35-10 advantage. And we'll see more of Zach Wilson. How about tonight's powerful plays brought to you by Duracell?
Well, I'll tell you this, Beth. He started the game on fire, right? He set up an earlier touchdown on the throw to Romney there for 38 yards, and then just the ball placement, right? He puts the ball out where his receiver can make plays. You throw it up in the air, you make sure your guy can go grab it and haul it in. And then when everything's all the way covered up, show him that you can run too. Utilize those legs, get in for a touchdown. Some powerful plays there by Zach Wilson.
3:09 to go in the third. Second possession of the half for BYU after a 20-play, 10-minute drive earlier in this third quarter for Western Kentucky. All night long for Wilson, still looking. And he'll drop it off for Isaac Rex, who's got the first down. Rex realized his quarterback was in trouble, dumped off his block, and found himself open.
Oh, you go old school here, right? Out there on the playground, and you're trying to rush the quarterback. He's got all day to throw. And you just wait. You try to find an open guy down. Rex opens up late and turns what could have been a negative play into a nice little positive gain for a first down.
Algier sliding out close to the 45 as he gets closer to 100 yards on the night. Let's send it down to Stormy.
Well, guys, Zach Wilson took a lot of accountability after throwing that first interception since week 1. On the sideline, he was talking to wide receiver coach Fezzi Sitaki and Keanu Hill, just saying, hey, I realize now what you were doing. It's my fault. We weren't on the same page. I rushed it. Let's get the ball back and do it right, and that's what they're trying to do on this drive.
Thank you, Stormy. Blitz coming and forced him to release it a little sooner than he wanted. Incomplete to Milne. Well, you can see the competitive skirt as Stormy reported earlier with the prove them wrong mentality that he brings, the fuel that the doubters and the haters provide for him.
But 3rd down and 8, he's got to find an open receiver. He's got to find somebody to keep these chains moving.
And he's got him. Out to midfield, and another questionable hit. Neil Powell. They've already had one guy ejected, Devin Key, for targeting in the first half.
I'll tell you this, tomorrow when
immediately flied on contact.
When Tyson Helton watches this film tomorrow of his defense, he doesn't have to look far. This isn't an aggressive defense, but tonight they have been a little too over-aggressive. And these types of penalties, the 15-yard variety, these are just unacceptable.
Personal foul, targeting, defense number 16. That's a 15-yard penalty and an automatic first down. The previous play is under further review.
And Kendrick Simpkins is the guy who replaced Devin Key after the targeting penalty in the first half. And Kirk, that one does not look like that will be overturned either.
No, not at all, because you need an indicator. And the indicator for me is the lowering of the helmet. And this is a true freshman that you mentioned, Kendrick Simpkins. These are the types of plays that you have to keep that head up. Always be able to see what you hit. If you look down to the ground, that's not good. This is what they're trying to get out of football, especially in college. And that is what they call a textbook targeting. When you have that indicator of the lowering of the helmet, the hit above the head and neck area, yeah, that's another disqualified Western Kentucky player already.
If it stands, it will be the 5th personal foul of the game for Western Kentucky.
That's just uncharacteristic of this football team. You know, I watched them all week long. I'm watching the tape, and they are a very clean team. Clearly not a lot of penalties, right? But tonight, I think sometimes you get on the road and you're playing against a big-time opponent, you get over-aggressive, and that's what I've seen tonight.
The ruling of targeting is confirmed. Number 16 is disqualified from the game. The 15-yard penalty will be assessed from the end of the run. First down.
2 defensive backs have been ejected tonight for Western Kentucky. And for Simpkins, happening here in the second half means he would be unavailable for the first half of their next game. BYU does not have a penalty yet tonight, and Neil Pau, the receiver who took the hit, has gone into the medical tent on the BYU sideline. Algier down inside the 30. And Powell will get some attention from the athletic trainers. 93 yards rushing now for Tyler Algier on 15 carries. They've run for 130, thrown for 224 tonight as we approach the final minute now of the third quarter. Big burst. Algier over 100 yards and into the end zone. Touchdown Cougars. And a flag down on the play.
Hey, hold that.
I'm guessing here in the area of holding, because I saw some great blocking up front. I think I saw a little bit of a grab. That left side of the offensive line, especially Hank Tuipulotu, had some nice blocks, but somebody got called for holding.
Holding, offense, number 69. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Remains second down.
That's Tristan Hodge.
I mean, it's well blocked all the way up on that left side, and it's the back block. And to me, it didn't really need to happen because Algier was already in the clear, but it was the backside trying to hold that block on the backside. The umpire right there throwing the flag.
So that'll take points off the board for BYU. 2nd and 13 on the draw. Katoa gets a couple back. The first penalty of the night, a costly one for BYU. Here's the college football rankings brought to you by PlayStation 5. A lot of W's on that list. The notable L is Oklahoma State, no longer unbeaten. They lose in overtime to Texas.
Yeah, we won't have a Big 12 undefeated champion, but a big win for Texas, going on the road, taking care of business. Now, what happens to the Big 12 the rest of the year?
How about next week, too? You got Clemson in South Bend to take on the Fighting Irish. They will not have Trevor Lawrence at quarterback. Of course, DJ Uyunglele looked pretty good in his first start with over 300 yards passing and 3 touchdowns today. And congratulations to Travis Etienne. He's now the ACC's all-time leading rusher.
I'm glad you brought his name up, because if they're going to win in South Bend, that's who they're going to rely on, right? You got the true freshman quarterback. I think you got to rely on that run game and try to keep it simple for the quarterback, but he did pass his first test, right, Beth? His first start with flying colors today.
They barely snuck by Boston College, and on 4th down, they will attempt a 54-yard field goal. Jake Oldroyd, his long is 54. He has not missed on the season.
This is their first charge to the half.
6 for 6.
30 seconds in length.
And Western Kentucky will apply the ice pack here, call the timeout. The Saturday storylines, of course, Clemson survived the scare. They were down 18 in the first half, rallied to win it. Texas, the overtime victory over Oklahoma State. And for BYU fans, maybe watching a little earlier tonight, Boise State outlasted Air Force 49-30. I think the big story moving forward for the Broncos is, will Hank Bachmeier be available next week at quarterback? He did not play tonight as a part of their big 3 with running back George Halani and wide receiver Khalil Shakir.
Yeah, C.T. Thomas had a big play as well for those Broncos as well. They're a high potent offense. To me, one of the teams that you got to watch, that's that group of 5, right? I know BYU is an independent, but a group of 5 team that people need to watch out for is Boise State as they start to rise up in the rankings.
BYU beat Boise, their only loss of the year last year. Here is the 54-yard attempt from Oldroyd, and it is no good, wide to the left. But there is a penalty flag down.
Looked to be it. Oldroyd looked like he went down right after the kick. When I start seeing offensive linemen look back, is that roughing the kicker, right? You start seeing offensive linemen look back at the defense.
Running into the kicker, defense. It's a 5-yard penalty. It remains 4th down.
So they might have an opportunity to re-kick here if they so choose. It will not be enough for the first down yardage. You hope Oldroyd's okay here for the Cougars.
I don't know, Ben. That's a little bit of a sell job. He did a great job on that one. It happened.
He's back out there. He'll be a little closer here. A 49-yard attempt. This kick is on its way, and it is good. Another costly penalty for the Hilltoppers. And Oldroyd gets the 3 on the board. Ooh, and a little shush to the Western Kentucky sideline right there.
Beth, you play a little bit of golf, right? You got a mulligan here or there. That time Oldroyd said, hey, I got the mulligan, and made it count.
Points on the board for BYU in 6 of their 7 drives tonight, and a 38-10 lead over Western Kentucky. After a missed field goal, a Western Kentucky penalty, set up the mulligan. And the field goal good the next time through, 49 yards. And a big special teams hit for the Cougars, trying to get it done on all three phases tonight. How about a look at tonight's Chick-fil-A impact players and tracking their numbers for the night for Algier and Milne.
They've been having a big game early on, and when you think about Algier at running back, 16 carries, 95 yards. This offense wants to be balanced, but they're balanced because they're able to not only get the yardage on the ground, but when they ask their quarterback to make a play, Zach Wilson, look, Dax Milne has been the guy. Early on, got a lot of production, not so much in the second half. Really slowed this game down.
Western Kentucky, this is their second charge to the half. 30 seconds in length.
Well, and Western Kentucky will call a timeout before the first snap for them here in the fourth quarter. That'll give us a chance to talk a little Monday Night Football, Kirk. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, led by Tom Brady and Daniel Jones, leading the way for the Giants Monday at 8 Eastern. It starts with countdown at 6 o'clock. Bucs have won 5 of their last 6, and Tom Brady refuses to age.
I thought he was supposed to be washed up, right? He's supposed to be washed up. The fountain of youth down there in Tampa.
Heading down to Florida, yeah. 18 touchdowns, over 1,900 yards. They'll take on the Giants. Of course, he's had some bad memories with the Giants and Eli Manning in the postseason. But they're looking pretty good. Might they be the best team in the NFC right now?
Well, I think right now, and then next week, Antonio Brown's eligible to join the team. So now you got another weapon for Tom Brady. So yeah, they may be the best team in the National Football League.
Pigram had to scramble in the NFC. You're not saying they're better than Pittsburgh, Baltimore, are you? That's the other big game this weekend, or are you?
Well, we'll see tomorrow, right? That's a big game on the early afternoon slate of games.
Yes.
But right now, I mean, that offense for Tampa Bay is rolling. Kind of similar to what BYU has been doing all night, right? Very similar. Quarterbacks take care of the ball and find wide receivers on the outside and make it a big play.
And 2nd and 10. They'll run it with Jakari Moses. A lot of attention on the offensive side for BYU, but this defensive unit quietly putting together a heck of a season. They're only giving up 2 touchdowns a game and holding opponents under 100 yards rushing night in and night out.
Well, they've been playing good football, and they know they're going to get opportunities because of their offense and the points that they score. So, look, they've been stout in the back end, and I've been impressed with just their rushes, right? Whether it's 4-man, 3-man, they get after the quarterback, and they force quarterbacks to really have to make a decision and get rid of the ball as quick as possible. They just want to get some turnovers. They haven't created enough turnovers. They got one tonight, but they want to create some more.
Just their 7th takeaway of the season. On 2nd down. Tipped and caught. And a first down to Joshua Simon. Good improv for the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, sometimes you get lucky. You're in the right spot at the right time. This ball is tipped at the line of scrimmage, and Simon's right there to make the catch and turn it up. I thought they would use Simon a lot more today. I thought he had the advantage coming into this game. The big 6'5", 240-pound tight end. Just haven't really had a lot of time to get him open. But to me, I thought he was the biggest threat to this BYU defense.
Off the redirect, 1st and 10. Pigram put that one up for grabs. So are they going to say he's in the grasp, or he got it out in time? They'll say he did. 2nd and 10. course, for BYU, they look pretty good here tonight. They've got Boise State on deck. Here's what we're looking at in terms of a path to the playoff. Win and win impressively. I think you're rooting, right, for Clemson, Bama, and Ohio State to go undefeated. There's 3 spots, so there'd be 1 left. You're hoping that Cincinnati loses, that the Pac-12 will not have an undefeated team, and that none of these second-place teams look all that great at the end of the season. And maybe BYU is right there in the discussion.
Yeah, that's what you're hoping for, right? Because you still have a Georgia that's kind of just hanging around out there. They'll probably have another opportunity against Alabama, but you've got some teams that maybe with 1 loss hanging around there. Would you consider the 1-loss team versus an undefeated BYU team? That's what the committee is definitely going to have to take a look at that situation.
Yeah, we'll find out
Pass
next week, too. Of course, the
defense, number 15, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, results in an automatic first down.
You got the cocktail party next week, so Georgia or Florida is going to pick up another loss. If Notre Dame can beat Clemson, then you change allegiance, right? You start rooting for Notre Dame to go undefeated. Right, there's a chance they could play a second time later in the season. But again, there are only the 3 games presently on the schedule. Remains to be seen if they can fill some of the late open dates. Boise State, North Alabama, which is an FCS team, San Diego State on December 12th. I believe that'll be the first December home game at Lavelle Edwards Stadium, by the way. Could be a little chilly for that one. You know,
prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 70, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
We've heard some discussions around BYU media and even some of the national media. Could they set up a date with Marshall perhaps later in the season? The Thundering Herd are still unbeaten.
I mean, all they can do is just pile up wins, right? That's all you can do. You got to win what's on your schedule. If you can create more wins, I think you have to do that. Because at the end of the day, you want to have 0 losses and show your resume to the committee and say, hey, this is what we were able to put together in 2020. I think this is good enough. But you got to continue to win.
Of course, we have not seen a team from outside the Power 5 in the playoffs. 6 years that we've had the current format. And Cougar fans, of course, know that they do have an undefeated season on the resume with a national championship dating back to that magical 1984 run, capped off by the win over Michigan in the Holiday Bowl with Robbie Bosco leading the way. Our ESPN teammate, Trevor Matich, the offensive line for that crew. Moses out in the flat. He's across midfield, diving down to about the 40. They've been to 6-0 before, including that 12-0 season in 1984. The last time they did it was 2006. That 2001 team, led by Brandon Doman, is the last time they were 7-0 as they inch closer to that mark for just the second time this century.
I went against that 2001 team. That was not a fun team to go up against. They were loaded, especially at running back. Luke Staley that year won the Doak Walker, tough back to tackle.
He could run it. Of course, Kalani Sitake blocked for him back in the day, playing for Lavelle Edwards. You did open the door slightly, Kirk. Should we share with America your record as an Aztec against the Cougars?
Well, yes, we can share my record. It's okay. It's okay. They dominated my Aztecs while I was there, when I was on the field. The one year that I did redshirt, we did beat BYU at BYU. But I was just a cheerleader then. I was just cheerleader. I was a young freshman trying to find my way.
Went on to All-American status, went to the NFL, and probably best known in Provo for that legendary picture that you took of Jimmy Fredette that we showed the folks in the first half. Although Kalani Sitake did remember you, and the what was the name of the defensive you had at San Diego State?
Was the old dark side defense.
Yes, the dark side defense.
Look, we were aggressive. We came after you. We lined up in 3-man, 4-man, 5-man fronts where we wanted to put pressure on the quarterback. And it's similar to what they preach at BYU defensively. They are aggressive. They come after you, play tight coverage in the back end.
Having success back at his old school. Talked a lot about how grateful they were and appreciative of the opportunity to be able to play football this fall. You know, they're feeling the same way out in Pac-12 country. Next Saturday night, they are back in action. 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. It's Stanford and Oregon. C.J. Verdell, back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons for the reigning Pac-12 champs. The Ducks, of course, that big Rose Bowl win for Justin Herbert before he went on to the NFL, and now starting for the Los Angeles Chargers. 3rd and 5, Pigram airing it out into the end zone and incomplete. Intended for Michael Tinsley. And it's 4th and 5. The offense will stay out there.
Yeah, I like the decision again. When he pushes the ball down the field, I just want to see more of it. And that's something that Brian Ellis, his offensive coordinator, talked about. Look, he's like Piggy and Tyrell Pigram. Look, when you get him in the offense, he just sometimes gets too conservative. Now, his backup, Kavaris Thomas, is a little bit different. Now, he's out today. So they're just trying to get Pigram in a situation where he's taking advantage, getting the ball down the field. But on 4th and 5 here, if it's not there, take off, pick up the yards, and move the chains.
Buying time, throws it downfield, and it is intercepted. Second takeaway for the Cougar defense. Looks like might be Jackson Kafusi. We'll find out on the other side as BYU's offense is set to return. Oh, in Salt Lake City, how about a trip to Wiggy's Haunted Car Wash? Stay in your vehicle and lock your doors, folks. I'm not even going to attempt to ID some of these villains. I'm not a big horror movie fan, Kirk. I don't know about you. Oh, I recognize that one. Oh, yep. That's a little Halloween. The scariest movie of all time. The original with Jamie Lee Curtis.
Now, how am I supposed to go to the car wash now? How am I supposed to go to the car wash now? Now I'm be looking for Jason when I'm getting my car dry.
During the day. Got a new quarterback in the ball game for BYU. Got some new guys in the backfield with him. Baylor Romney, the sophomore from El Paso, the younger brother of Gunnar Romney. Playing in his 5th game. He had a couple of starts last year, Kirk, including the big win over Boise State.
Yeah, that's the big one he's most known for, right? They were Zach Wilson not available, and Romney said, you know what, doesn't matter. He put the team on his back and came away with a big victory over the then number 14 Boise State Broncos.
Sione Finau is in the game at tailback as well. Romney almost got away from him, and he and Finau make sure that they both corral that one. It'll be 3rd down.
Yeah, that ball's a little high. You got to jump up and get that one. I know Romney wasn't expecting that. But you got to get in the rhythm early on. And look, 3rd and 8. Let's see what happens with BYU here. Do they put the ball in the air? Let Romney throw a couple, kind of with the game in hand already. But Sione Finau back in the backfield, number 20. I want to see him get a little bit more active coming back from injury from last season.
That's also Joe Tukuafu in at center. He was the starter last week for the injured James Empey. Bill Romney going to air it out, incomplete. Looking deep downfield, intended for Cody Epps, and it's 4th down.
You know, one of the things too, Beth, now with, the score sitting right at 38-10, kind of what we talked about, right? Late game, and it's about style points, right? Is it going to be about style points? Like, what's going to, I think, attract the attention? Obviously, look, the play on the field is going to be there. The college football playoff is going to watch everything about BYU, but sometimes it may be hard to ignore some of the scores that they may have to put up. I understand taking Zach Wilson out of the game, but they still got to press the issue, score more points.
First punt of the night for Ryan Rico. And it's Western Kentucky football when we come back.
ESPN College Football is presented by Geico. Happy Geico-ween. You could save even more by bundling home and car insurance.
All BYU tonight in Provo as they inch closer to that 7-0 record. 38-10 our score. Need to clean up some business from the last time that the BYU defense was out there. Jackson Kafusi had an interception when we went to break. They reviewed it during the timeout and ruled that it was incomplete. So BYU did still take over on downs, but no interception for Jackson, who was hoping to join his brother Isaiah with takeaways tonight. And in the meantime, 7.5 to play, and new quarterback for BYU, and now a new quarterback for Western Kentucky.
Yeah, Darius Ocean, the true freshman out of Raleigh, North Carolina. And could this be the quarterback for Tyson Heldon for the future, right? We know that Tyrell Pigram, he is, the grad transfer, his final year in college football, but Kavaris Thomas, another guy who's on the roster, but this is a guy who's recruited by Tyson Heldon. So could this be the future for Western Kentucky at quarterback?
No stats on the season for Darius. Davis Shanley had been listed as the backup, but they'll give Darius a look. Of course, with the
number 13, Darius
with the redshirt rules in place the last few years, he can still get some playing time and keep that redshirt if need be out of Cornelius, North Carolina.
And this is a great environment for him to get some experience too. On the road against the number 11 team in the country at BYU, you'll remember these types of moments in games and give you some confidence when you get that opportunity to be the starter at quarterback.
Looking at a 3rd down and 6. And he'll be taken down just out across the 30-yard line. Of course, in league play for them, they have already faced Marshall. That's who everybody's chasing in Conference USA. But they have 4 games left on the schedule in the league where they're 1-2. They're going to need a lot of help. Somebody's going to have to take the herd down a couple times.
A little reunion game next week, right? Going against Florida Atlantic. FAU, former Western Kentucky quarterback Willie Taggart, the head coach there. So probably some emotions in that football game next week for the Hilltoppers.
Boy, they've had some good ones over the years. Of course, Jeff Brom in recent days, who left and went to Purdue. Willie Taggart, the former quarterback. Back to the days of Jack Harbaugh, their 1AA national championship. Back to Provo in a moment. (38-10), BYU the lead over Western Kentucky. We talked about some of the legends that have been on the sideline for the Hilltoppers. How about Jack Harbaugh? From 1989 to 2002 and that national championship, Willie Taggart came back home as the head coach. 1 year of Bobby Petrino, and then Jeff Brom with back-to-back double-digit win seasons.
Yeah, a lot of success from those coaches, right? Brom now at Purdue. A lot of success from the coaching tree at Western Kentucky.
And now in his 2nd year, Tyson Helton on that sideline.
Taco Bell's Nachos Party Pack. Delicious nachos topped with all your favorites. Only at Taco Bell.
Productive evening for Zach Wilson. Not his most accurate night. He did have the interception. but 3 passing touchdowns, 1 rushing touchdown as BYU opened the game, scoring TDs on all 5 possessions in the first half of play. And put this one out of reach. They're going to get to 7-0. They'll keep pace with the likes of Clemson and Alabama, Ohio State and Notre Dame. The Irish looking strong with their 12th consecutive win tonight. Cincinnati stays unbeaten with a dominating performance over Memphis. Desmond Ridder with 5 touchdowns. And they'll get ready for their big showdown at Boise State next weekend, as we will get ready for SportsCenter from LA with Stan Verrett and Neil Everett. They'll have reacts from the Buckeyes and the Nittany Lions. Also, what's Clemson going to do in South Bend without Trevor Lawrence next Saturday night? And some scary sports stuff on this Halloween evening. Have a little bit more fun before we turn the calendar over and turn the clocks back. Sione Finau, first down on the run. And Zach Wilson continues to improve under the tutelage of offensive coordinator Jeff Grimes.
Yeah, you think about it, when you say Jeff Grimes, people forget longtime offensive line coach. And it was great talking to him this weekend because I look at the resume of Jeff Grimes. There he is in the picture. And I think you forget sometime that Jeff Grimes was on that 2010 staff at Auburn with Gene Chizik. And he was around a quarterback by the name of Cam Newton, who had an outstanding year and won the Heisman that year, right? And so that was one of the questions that I did ask Coach and say, hey, Coach, tell me about that season and tell me a little bit about Cam Newton and how you can sort of groom Zach Wilson as well. And he said, look, 2 things that both of these quarterbacks have, Zach Wilson and Cam Newton. They both have confidence out of this world, but it's preparation. And you can watch from whether it's Cam Newton, whether it's Zach Wilson, they both are prepared. And Zach Wilson, you saw it tonight, one of the most prepared quarterbacks, but he's also a competitor. And I think that's what's going to push BYU along this season, maybe even push Zach Wilson into more of the Heisman conversation as a real big-time candidate.
Worked in the offseason a lot with John Beck, the former quarterback at BYU.
Offense number 69.
The last BYU quarterback.
Still second down.
To get drafted to the NFL.
Yeah. Watched a lot, guys like Garoppolo and Mariota and Dak Prescott. He loves to study quarterbacks like Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes. But it is hard to believe it's John Beck in 2007, the last BYU quarterback drafted. Remember Taysom Hill, undrafted to the Saints.
But he also, when he's not watching film, what else is he doing? He's watching The Bachelor and The Bachelorette.
Oh, I got caught watching The Bachelor this week, or Bachelorette, yeah.
Yeah, that's what they do over there at BYU when the guys get a little downtime. They talk about The Bachelor or The Bachelorette.
What you got for us, Stormy?
Well, I just still think what's so funny about that whole Bachelorette conversation is that Jeff Grimes legitimately did text Zach Wilson to ask what film he's watching, and he was like, oh, I'm watching The Bachelorette. Because basically, he said that he doesn't want to watch it. There's so much drama, but he just can't look away. Him and his buddies just always end up watching whatever the next show is on. But Coach Grimes thought he was watching film. Guess not.
That's what he's been doing for a lot of the offseason, watching a ton of film as he continues to get better. I just love the story. He was a 4th-string quarterback as a sophomore in high school, and just continued to get better and better and better. And of course, he's got a terrific pedigree. We were surprised to hear where he gets his swagger from. He said, "Oh, that's definitely from my mom, Lisa."
Yeah.
And her side of the family is a very driven, very determined bunch. And for Zach, he's one of 6 kids, one of 36 grandkids in the family, and they are all competitive.
I mean, he just looks right in the BYU uniform, right? People forget that he was committed to Boise State and sort of last minute decommitted after a conversation with head coach Kalani Sitake. And just felt like BYU was the better place for him. And
he wanted
3
to
years
be
into
close
it,
to his
he's
family.
Yeah, want to be close to the family. Yeah, I get it. You know, in college, you want to be close to the family. But also, too, maybe have moms come help out with laundry from time to time. So I get it, Beth. It serves me. I get it. Because he also, his brother, Josh Wilson, as well, a linebacker on the team, lives with him. So, but he's always got study hall. That's what Zach said. He's always got study hall, so he can't hang with the older guys.
Final 2 minutes here as Baylor Romney has taken over for Wilson at quarterback. Into the red zone and a 2nd and 3. And another high snap that gets away from Romney. I guess the big question is now with of course, week 2 of the Big 12 and the Pac-12 set to join, and the Mountain West and the MAC getting into play. BYU's number 11 right now in the poll, highest they've been in 11 years. At least one team has lost ahead of them. Are they going to join Cincinnati in the top 10 next week? I think will be a big storyline.
And then also, what do we do about Wisconsin, right? Their game was canceled. So do they move down? They can't move up because they didn't play. So do you push BYU past them? So I think a lot of big decisions ahead for the AP when the rankings come out tomorrow.
Everybody else was a winner in front of them.
That was an impressive win by Cincinnati. That was the more impressive win, I thought. You know, we had a chance to see Cincinnati last week versus SMU. They got a quarterback in Desmond Ritter who's playing really, really well. We saw him last week kind of have an outstanding game, and then today just beating up the Group of 5 champion from a year ago in Memphis.
So here goes another field goal attempt for Jake Oldroyd with a 28-point lead. A 45-yard attempt. Kick is on its way, and it is good.
And the kick is good.
Bumps the lead up to 31, and his second field goal of the night under a minute to go. To 10, BYU with the lead, 58 seconds to play. Here is what is upcoming. Only 3 games left on the current BYU schedule. And the doozy is looming next week at Boise State, where they are only given about a 54% chance of winning that. And where the Broncos on the Smurf turf have been nearly unbeatable this decade. So a big challenge coming up next weekend. Remains to be seen whether Hank Bachmeier will be at quarterback for the Broncos. He was absent tonight in their win. There have been some good ones the last couple of years. In 2018, Zach Wilson had a chance to win it late, got sacked, and they came up short at Albertson Stadium. 21-16 Broncos with the win. But then last year with Wilson injured, it was Baylor Romney throwing a couple of touchdown passes to Matt Bushman. And they handed the Broncos their only loss of the season, 28-25. So we're expecting more excitement next weekend.
Yeah, I know Zach Wilson can't wait to get another crack at the Broncos, be his second opportunity. And just, speaking with him this week, right, Beth? He remembers that game and that final moment as going against the Broncos. It was 7 seconds left, and he didn't realize the down and distance. And it was actually 3rd down, 7 seconds left, and he went into a last play mode. They tackle him, time runs out, and he's like, oh, we still had one more down. So as a quarterback, he's learned from his freshman year.
On the field
to play against
is the ball king loose prior to the running being down by rule. First down, BYU.
So the BYU defense does get another takeaway here.
With the game clock operator, please put 42 seconds on the clock, please. 42 seconds.
Was it Sulete Fivaliaki that came up with the loose ball there? Let's see who they're going to credit. Looks like it is.
Second turnover for BYU. They wanted to come in.
The ruling on the previous play of a fumble is under further review.
They're going to take a look at it.
Just at first glance of watching a couple of reviews there, it looks to me, at first glance, Beth, I'm just saying the first glance, Noah Whittington looked to be down. I think I'm looking at maybe that left elbow seemed to go down, or his back went down first, and then we see the ball pop up late. I would think maybe they reversed this call. But no, let me see. It seems that that ball may have been moving, though. It looks like that ball may have been coming loose before his back hits the ground. I don't see anything that's really conclusive. They may just stay with the call and field as a fumble.
After reviewing the play, the runner's hip was down in possession prior to the ball coming loose. It'll be 2nd and 5 at the 25-yard line.
So they will take away the takeaway. The call is reversed, and it goes back to the Hilltoppers.
Oh, man. That hurts if you're a defense. Now, they don't have helmet stickers, right, Beth? But if I'm in this game and, you know, back when they put the little helmets, decals on the back for a big play, now they got to take the helmet sticker off. You know, I wanted those decals on the back.
With the running clock and a reversal and replay, we have a 10-second subtraction on the clock. With the game clock operator, please reset the clock to 42 seconds, please. Correction, 32 seconds, 32. Thank you.
So down to the final half minute, and for BYU, 6th time this season they have scored over 40 points in a game. The only team that held them under that was UTSA in the 27-20 win, but the Cougars will improve to 7-0 for the first time since 2001 as they continue their best start in a long time in Provo, as the expectations grow with each passing week. And a huge test at Boise State, where they've won 93% of their home games in the last 20 years, have the Broncos. So can BYU put a dent in that number? Coming up next, we've got Sports Center to catch up on all the latest college football news of the day, including Clemson getting a win without Trevor Lawrence at quarterback. They will be without him again next week in South Bend. It will be DJ Uiagalelei that will get his first road start against the Fighting Irish. And that'll do it. 41-10, the final for BYU. Zach Wilson responsible for 4 touchdowns tonight. And the Cougars improved to 7-0 on the season. For Kirk Morrison and Stormy Bonantoni, I'm Beth Mowins. Thanks so much for watching tonight on this Halloween in Provo. A big win for BYU. Sports Center coming up in 15 seconds.
Today tastes like we're a team. And it never tasted this good.